What's up, everybody? Welcome back into another edition of the 4D Chess Dynasty Trade Show. As always, I'm joined by my good buddy. We're doing this one at halftime of the Thursday night game, so we're banging this one out here. The party never stops for content, though, so we got to do what the people want. Adam, how you doing, man? I know the Cam Akers thing isn't working out so well for you so far this first half, but other than that, how you doing?
It's only as bad as it could start there. We'll see. Not a good look for Akers, but the game's been kind of crazy, man. It started off a lot of turnovers. I'm just happy to have football back, though, even as bad as it's been on some of the fantasy things for me.
Hell yeah. Well, let's dive right into it. We got some trades. We got to get them out of the way. The first one, it was a request, right? We're taking requests now. I guess we're going to take requests on the trade show, but we got the Wake Up League. Volume 1, Version 1, V1, however you wanted to describe it. So we had a trade go down where it's Marquise Hollywood Brown, a 23 second, a 23 third, a 24 first being acquired for Michael Pittman, a 23 third, and a 23 fourth. So Hollywood, a second, a third, and a first. Or do you want Pittman, a third, and a fourth? Now, this is a best ball league, Adam. 12-team PPR, best ball league. He listed off the scorings, but the big one is best ball. Adam, how you feel about this one?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I would say I love Pittman, right? Like, Pittman is a guy that I've come around on quite a bit. Love having Michael Pittman. He's the best player in the deal. But, Mike, when we're talking best ball, I mean, you give me Michael Pittman, you give me Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, and a first, right, for Michael Pittman in best ball. Thinking long and hard, and I'm probably just taking the first. I'm going to flip that 24 first and put the value to use somewhere else. The 23 thirds, I think, cancel out here, but even if you're telling me they're early and late, like, it doesn't matter. I'm getting the second, too, right? So I'm getting three pieces. Like, I think what's crazy about this is regardless of your direction to me, Hollywood Brown, a 24 first and a 23 second, you either hold the picks, use them as leverage for the rebuild, or if you're contending, like, even if I can't move them right this second because everybody wants to have, this mindset, everyone's contending in best ball, like, I'll sit on those picks for a few weeks. I don't think Hollywood Brown, especially for this first 6 weeks while Hopkins is out, Mike, is going to score that much less than Pittman points per game, right?
Yep.
And then at that point, I'm moving the first and the second either now or later in the first 6 weeks for way more value. I personally believe this is a smash on that Hollywood side.
Huge smash for me on the Hollywood side. Huge. And for all the things that you said where, I mean, this is coming from a guy too where, like, I'm higher on Michael Pittman than probably a lot of people. I mean, there's some people out there who obviously have him ranked extremely high, but I like him a lot for this season. And I've never been a Hollywood guy. Like, I'm lower on him than a lot of people, but still I look at it. We're not talking the elite of the elite receivers here, Adam. We're not talking like going Chase all the way down to Hollywood. We're going for Michael Pittman, somewhere in maybe the 15 range, 15 to 20, however you wanted to rank him, maybe a little bit higher for some. You're going down to Hollywood, who's, I don't know, man. He's got to be at least somewhere around like top 30 wide receivers, somewhere in that ballpark, like however you wanted to lay it out.
For sure.
And anytime I can make those kind of moves in a wide receiver tier that's so deep, and every time I look at wide receiver like 15 to 45, I'm like, any of these dudes really could, finish at any one of those spots. Like, they're all just kind of interchangeable, and I wouldn't be shocked if any of them, like you mentioned, man, I don't know how much Michael Pittman outscores Hollywood. Hell, maybe not at all. So you give me that first and a second and a best ball, and I think about everything that I can buy with that first and a second later and multiply and have multiple pieces to put in my lineup. So
yeah,
this one wasn't relatively close for me. I know Mike Anderson, he's a big listener. He's a big listener on Ratio. He's on the wake up every day. It's basketball, but in a best ball league, man, you can't make moves like this, in my opinion.
I would say I think Michael Pittman's really good, and like, I understand in the right spot tearing up for him, right? But man, Mike, I cannot do it at this price. Just can't do it. I think the other thing too, when you start playing more best ball, you'll kind of see why the strategy of just having 3 pieces. Like, honestly, and I would take a 24 first, a 23 second, and a receiver lower than Hollywood Brown and still do that for Pittman in best ball leagues, Mike. So, this isn't anything personal, but, I think the strategy for me is always, to an extent, but primarily is going to be quantity over quality as long as the quantity's in the decent range. And none of those assets, the Hollywood 23 second or 24 first, are dog shit assets. So I'm taking that side.
Man, it happens, man, when you get into best ball for the first time, like Dynasty best ball. It is vastly different. And this is one of the areas. And the only reason Adam and I know about it is because we did it a lot last year and we made mistakes. We did this kind of thing, and then we were like, oh, shit, we should probably not do that ever again.
Yep.
This was a bad choice. We didn't win.
Bad choice, man. Let's move on to deal number 2. What do you think?
Deal number 2. So we got a Kyle Pitts deal.
Mm.
We haven't had one in a bit, but we got one. So Kyle Pitts, Justin Fields, a 23 second, a 23 third being acquired for Gerald Everett, Jamar Chase, and Mr. 1 carry, 1 fumble, James Cook. So far tonight. We got Pitts, Fields, the second, the third, Everett, Chase, James, Cook, Adam.
I mean, every week, Mike, we have to do this. Now, listen, you probably go back and look at some the Henry for Akers thing I got wrong. It looks like right now, week 1. I'm not panicked on Akers, but value's bad on him. Like, I'm not going to get everything right, but I think Chase. Like, I know he's really good. I know he's probably going to be good for several years. But this, like, okay, help me out here. Like, anybody listening, watching. Like, okay, 1 for 1, I want Pitts over Chase. Right? So if, like, to make this really simplified, if I start there, or if we even acknowledge that their values are similar.
Or close, yeah.
If you're a super Chase lover, at least acknowledge the values are similar. How are we having a discussion? Because now it's Fields. I'm getting Fields for Cook. And I'm getting a second and third for Everett. Like, listen, I think this, you know what, I'm going to tell you this, everyone listening, this is why Chase goes on the block.
Yes.
Pitts, to me, is the most difficult player to buy in Dynasty right now.
Yeah, you're in line there. And
guess what, though? This might prove that maybe it's Chase. Like, in order to buy Chase, you got to pay something so crazy. Like, this is insanity.
Absolutely ludicrous. I didn't even say that it was a Superflex league. I don't know if it is or not. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Even if it's a single quarterback league, I still want the Pitts and Fields side.
The only way I could say this is close is if it's single quarterback.
It's a lot closer than single quarterback. I'll say that.
Right. I'm just saying. Yeah, I want the other side in single quarterback. I still want Pitts in single quarterback, but I'm saying that's the only way I can look at it and say, okay, like I see it. Like I don't see this in Superflex at all.
The biggest takeaway, I mean, like you're not going to get all these deals done in all of your leagues, right? Like we play in some savvy leagues, we play in some leagues with some tight asses. Let's not get it twisted at all, buddy. But you look at it this way, you hit it on the head when you say if you have Jamar Chase, this is why you put him on the block everywhere. Because you never know when that one person comes out of the woodwork and goes, here, I got an offer for you. You have to take it. All right, buddy. Let's move on from that dumpster deal. Let's go to the next one here. We got DK Metcalf, George Pickens, and Devin Singletary being acquired for Trevor Lawrence and Wan'Dale Robinson. And, of course, this is done by our man, the legend, 7 Goat Rings.
Mike, at this point, like, would you rather have 7 Goat Rings or the actual 7 Goat Rings Tom Brady? Like, I think you can make the case for 7 Goat Rings, the Dynasty Manager.
Yeah, I might take the Dynasty Manager at this point. I'm not going to lie.
All right, so let's talk about this one, though, Mike. So we're getting DK Metcalf and George Pickens for Trevor Lawrence. You're also getting Singletary for Wan'Dale. I listen. I think 7 Goat Rings crushes deals on here all the time. I don't think I want to do this one though.
Yep.
I like Trevor Lawrence quite a bit, man. I think he's still a top 12 quarterback, no matter how you cut it. And like I think this is kind of selling too low on Lawrence and buying too high on Pickens, personally, in my opinion. Now, there's a realm of possibilities where DK is still a top 10 wide receiver in Dynasty, still does decent enough with Geno, still can have a new quarterback coming his way. And Pickens maybe takes a little time, but by the end of the year, you're talking about him as the Steelers wide receiver 1. So, like, I'm not saying that side's bad, but if I can get Trevor Lawrence for 2 wide receivers, young and good as they are, straight up like Metcalf and Pickens, like I'm doing that every time. Superflex.
Yeah. I like Trevor Lawrence a lot. I really do. I really do like Trevor Lawrence a lot. I think this is probably the fairest deal we've ever seen from 7 Go Rings. I'm gonna put it out there. This is probably the fairest deal. It might be the only one we ever see. The only one that we ever find, but I like it. I like it from both sides. What really comes down to, Adam, is how does your quarterback room look outside of Trevor Lawrence?
Correct.
You know, I got teams where I got 4 or 5 good ones. So I'm like, if I'm missing wide receivers, like the bonus part of having a lot of quarterbacks is it gives you the flexibility to not have to take one back, right? You don't have to pay that premium to get a turd like Mariota or something back. So you can get a Metcalf and then you can go get a Pickens. I'm not a Devin Singletary guy, but like if I told you Devin Singletary or Wan'Dale straight up, who would you take in that one? Like on a contender, on a rebuilder.
On a contender, I'd take.
It's not a conversation.
I'd probably take Singletary on a contender just because he maybe still has a shot, but I don't know. It's not. I'm not super.
Gives you something.
Like I don't think Wan'Dale on a contender is someone I'm even interested in. Really, I don't know how realistic it is he fires this year.
Could not. I'm not going to rely on it.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
I don't want to put my chips there.
So if you look at it just like in startup, like draft terms, I mean, DK and Pickens, like Pickens has risen up, but DK is probably in the 4th round, somewhere in there, 3rd, 4th round. Trevor Lawrence is in the 3rd. I don't know. You trade back around and you get a George Pickens. Like Singletary or Wan'Dale just really don't do anything for me. So, it's fine. But we just look at it from, oh, shit, you traded away a quarterback. And it's a quarterback that we like. But I will acknowledge that, I can see myself making this kind of deal without Singletary and Wan'Dale to kind of convolute it. But I can see myself making this kind of deal where I go get like DK and George Pickens on a team if I have enough quarterbacks already, no matter how much I love Lawrence. But generally, like with a guy like Trevor Lawrence, I'm holding and waiting for a value increase.
Right.
So it'd probably be a deal with like a different type of quarterback, like maybe a Stafford or something like that. But
yeah, for sure. I mean, I get it. I would hope that I could shoot a little higher if I'm going to go to receivers. But I get it, man. I understand. If you have the quarterback depth and you need to make pivots to other positions, like sometimes you make a deal like this. Moving on here, Mike. What do we got next?
We got our boy Castle Black and our boy Matty Kiwoom of Kiwoom and Jones. Go check him out. Check him out. Go check out his stuff. But Castle Black got Mike Evans, Cole Kmet, and Alan Lazard. And in return, he sent Matty, Zay Jones, Chase Claypool, Jared Everett, and our boy Rashad Bateman. Who you got here, Adam? Between 2 guys that we both like, Mike Evans, Cole Kmet, and Alan Lazard, or Zay Jones, Chase Claypool, Jared Everett, and Rashad Bateman?
This is an interesting deal, man. So I like Bateman actually as the best player in this deal, right? I would say. Now, do we know if this is best ball or lineup?
That I don't know.
Okay.
That I don't know.
Okay.
I know we're in one league with Matty officially, so I'm feverishly scrolling to see if I missed this trade going down. But
right.
I have no idea what league this was in, to be honest.
Okay. Well, so anyway, when I break the deal down, I'm looking at Bateman. I'd like him over Evans. On a contender, I can understand, though, if you wanted that pivot, right? They're similarly valued. Yeah. I still definitely want Claypool over Lazard in Dynasty, but I do understand there might be a world where Lazard outscores Claypool in fantasy this season, right? Mm-hmm. And then I think that like Kmet definitely outscores Everett and Jones. Man, I hate siding against Shoddy B. Like I feel like y'all, I'm watching Cam Akers this whole thing. Now I feel like I got to side against Shoddy B, but I think I want to take Mike Evans' side here, Castle Black side. I think it's like relatively fair. I just think though, like right now as we're moving into the season, like the pieces on Castle Black side, I think are a lot more movable and have a little bit more value.
I feel that. It's a very fair deal, and I'm going to side with our boy Matty.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I'm just going to go with the best player. I like Mike Evans. He's fine on a contender, but again, this is like the wide receiver conundrum too, where it's like, if Rashad Bateman and Mike Evans score relatively similar this year, I'm not going to be shocked at all.
No, not at all.
Like Mike Evans is going to have some issues without that offensive line. Like they were talking a little bit, Dan Orlovsky was talking today that I caught a little bit where, Mike Evans has never been a yards after catch guy. Everybody kind of knows that. And Tom Brady's going to have to get the ball out a little bit faster than what he has been in the past because of the offensive line troubles. So it'll be an interesting dynamic to see how that kind of works out. But, I like Mike Evans. He's just fine on a contender. Cole Kmet's kind of a tight end I like. But, I like the lawn dart, I guess you could say, of Gerald Everett on the bounce back, with Justin Herbert. Chase Claypool is a guy that I'm higher on than probably a lot of people, and Zay Jones is a nice little sleeper. So there's a lot of equal parts or very close ones. So I just go with the tiebreaker. Give me the Shoddy B side.
Yeah, I get it.
It's a good deal for both people, though. I like it. I like the deal.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's well constructed. Values are right on both sides, so I could make the case for either side. I think I'd want to have Castle Blacks for the value movement, but I could make the case for the other side too. Next deal, Mike. What do we got?
We got Devontae Smith and a 23 third being acquired for Chris Olave. This is done by our boy Blitz. The Who's. I know for you and I, we both have Smitty ranked over Olave. So anytime I see like somebody that I have somebody ranked over and comfortably ranked over, and you get something on top, I don't care what it is. Like, holy hell, I'm like, do I get excited? This is a good deal for Blitz, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think this is a savvy little move, right? When you can kind of understand your managers in the league and you have rapport and you talk, like I would love to know, and I try to know their values, and then when I see the exploitations, in my opinion, for where my ranks are, like I'm getting what I believe is the better receiver anyway. But he wants Olave. I know he wants Olave over Smitty, so I'm getting a free third here, right? On top of what I'm doing. Like I view this as I want Smitty, but it's not crazy over him as far as value. But I do want Smitty still. But I'm getting a free third. Like if you make enough of these type deals, I mean, you're getting free shit, man. You sign me up for free shit. I'm like the newsletter. I'm in for free shit.
Yes, the free shit in the newsletter. Definitely, you should be in on that. Go check that out. We tweet that out. We put it in our show links all the time. It's all over the place. So make sure that you're tapped into that. Adam. Yeah, this is easy. Devontae Smith and the third over Chris Olave. Let's move on to the next one. And we talked last trade episode about Deshaun Watson. And you don't pay peak prices for a guy who's not playing for the first 11 weeks. And we're going to see how the other side lives right here, buddy, because we got Deshaun Watson being acquired for Matt Ryan. Like, what the hell is going on, man? Like... Jeez, what is this?
Mike, I'm looking out of the corner of my eye in this game, and I'm thinking, how the hell during the game am I looking and telling y'all about this trade? This is crazy. Like, I know Watson's not going to play, but like, Mike, I would think that this would be hard to get done if you knew for sure he was out for the season on like the indefinite news from before. Like if he was out if he's out for the year. And you're not for 100% sure if he's coming back next year, but you think he is. Like I would think even then you'd have a hard time getting this done.
For sure.
Mike, this is crazy.
Why? Why?
The only explanation I have that I'm not defending the guy, or it's not a good one, but like I'm thinking this guy must have been really relying on Watson, held too long. He needs a quarterback today, and just could not get one. The season's here and panicked.
You couldn't find anything else.
I mean, believe me, I don't know how that's the case. I'm just thinking, like, this has to be what that is.
Like, if you added a first to Matt Ryan, like Matt Ryan and a first for Watson, I probably still want the Watson side. That's how bad it is, buddy.
This
That's
is.
how bad it is.
I'm just gonna say this, man. This screams how important having a quarterback playing in your lineup is in Superflex today.
Huge.
That's
Absolutely.
I think that's the biggest takeaway from this deal. Other than it's insane that B Hall destroyed this man. Let's move to the last deal, man.
And we can't do a trade show, it seems, anymore without a Dameon Pierce deal somewhere. But this one's a little bit more hidden, part of the bigger picture, I guess. But we got Russell Wilson and Austin Eckler being acquired for Ryan Tannehill, Dameon Pierce, Malik Willis, and a 23 first. So there it is, another Dameon Pierce deal. How you gonna break this one down, man?
I'll tell you how the best way I could describe this trade, Mike, is Jason absolutely burnt the brisket. I mean, this is outrageous.
It's not braised anymore. It's
burnt. That bitch burnt. Dude, all right, so, like, I don't know how to make this happen. Like, seriously. Because if you do Tannehill, Willis, like, if you package up the Tennessee quarterbacks and you give them the first for Wilson, okay, I think it's light, right? But let's say that's at least something that, like, you could have a conversation about.
For sure. Yep.
But Eckler for Pierce? Like, this is one of those where I think every time I try to cut it up a certain way, like, it's just, it doesn't add up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dameon Pierce, we haven't seen anything from. I know Eckler's getting older, but man, it's I don't see how you do this one, man. I really don't.
I don't get it either. It's the Dameon Pierce thing. They said you break it down. You could break it down, you know, the Tannehill, Willis in the first, like you talked about, or you could break it down like Pierce in the first for Eckler,
right? And
then it's Russ for Tannehill and Malik.
That's the problem. Whichever way you cut it, right? Because, like you said, that's the other way to look at it. Is you got Pierce in the first for Eckler. Okay, I get it.
And then, I mean, we're talking about, too, that first is the guy who's getting Russ and Eckler, right? Like, so it's probably not an early one. Let's just be honest. You can't be like, ooh, this is an early first. Well, if he's acquiring Russ and Eckler, I don't think it's an early first anymore.
This is the thing, right? We've talked about this at length, and this is where the 23 first name and value is so high that, like, you can put lates or ones that project late in a deal, in a big deal, and the value is crazy to people, you know?
Mm-hmm. Man, we got people tweeting me right now probably about Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah, he just scored a TD.
Fuck it.
Mike, you thought this day wasn't going to get worse. You were crazy.
It's always a good day when I get on and do some content with you and talk to the people, the Dynasty degenerates out there who follow us and listen to our stuff and tap in. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment on the YouTube. Please rate and review on the podcast, because it doesn't help just us out. It helps everybody at Destination Devy. And go check out the newsletter. I'm tired of preaching it, but I'm going to continue. We got over 1,000 subscribers. We need more. There's no excuse that you're not tapped in, you're not signed up. It is free content, and it's all very good. Anything else before we get back to the game here, Adam? We're going to hit the end button and bounce out of here.
I think that's it, man. There was at least one decent deal in there this week. You know,
we got one.
Listen, keep bringing us the trades. Let us know. Also, let us know if we fucked up on a trade value, if you think we were crazy. We want to hear your engagement. Let us know where we're right, where we're wrong, how egregious some of these other managers are doing people in the streets. We want to hear it all. Let us know. First game's out. Content is just getting started. The NFL season is here, baby.
It is. I'm so excited. We got to get back to the game. We appreciate you tapping in. We're going to bounce out of here. Peace.